Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to just show you the basic way of using a stencil on a cake. So you are going to need a stencil. Now I purchase most of my stencils from art and craft shops because they've just got a much bigger range and better prices than the cake decorating shops. But the pattern that I'm using today is a damask print, which was purchased from a cake decorating shop. So once you've got your stencils or stencil, then we are going to need some vegetable shortening. So if you are from Australia, that's what I use. And if not, well, you just need vegetable shortening. So once you've got your vegetable shortening, you're going to melt it in the microwave so it's nice and soft. And then you're going to run it all through the sides of the cake or wherever you're using the stencil, because this is basically going to be our glue to glue the stencil on. So as you can see, I'm just gently running the vegetable shortening on the sides just to get it nice and moist. And now I'm going to get my stencil and stick it on the cake. So as you can see, it's not, now I'm using that as a glue. So the vegetable shortening is basically my glue to stick that stencil on. So make sure your stencil's straight, and then you want to really press firmly and get rid of any air bubbles and get a nice firm tight stencil against your fondant. The tighter your stencil is, the clearer your pattern's going to be. So just make sure you just spend nice time just running your hands through back and forth just to get a nice firm grip against that fondant. Once you've done that, you're going to use any gel color that you want. This is an Americolor blue that I'm using, but you can use Wilton, you can use any color food gel that you want, and you're going to get a paintbrush and you're just going to basically paint against the stencil. So you're just painting on top of the stencil, just everywhere. Everywhere over the stencil, you're just painting through, and that's going to leave you the imprint of the stencil. You don't have to do the whole stencil if you don't want to. You can do parts of it if you want to do leaves, or if you want to do the center medallion. Like if I wanted to just do this particular flower, I could stop there. Or if you want to change colors, you could do this part blue and then do pink and green or any other color you want. You can really have a lot of fun with stencils because it's personally, I've been cake decorating for so many years, and I personally find that stencils is the easiest and quickest way to make a cake look very, very beautiful with not so much effort. So if you do get used to stencils, it's such a beautiful way to finish off a cake. You can use stencils on wedding cakes, birthdays, so, and it's very easy. So as you can see, all I'm doing is just using that paintbrush and just going through all the entire stencil, just going through it. Today I'm doing a really quick method just to show you guys. So I'm not really focusing on the tops, but if I was to, if this was an order, I'd do it nice and neat, the tops as well, so you get a nice straight finish. So the best advice I can give you is make sure that your fondant's nice and fresh when you put the vegetable shortening, because say for example, once you've covered your cake, straight away get on the stencils. Don't leave it for a few hours, because as you leave fondant, it firms up. So if your fondant firms up and then you try and put the vegetable shortening and the stencil, it won't stick in place. Then you're going to have to use pins, or a lot of people use pins on the sides of the stencil just so it can stay in place. But I find that normally happens once the fondant has firmed up a bit. When the fondant is fresh and you put the vegetable shortening, it really glues on very nicely. So just, that's probably the best advice and only advice I can give you, because working with stencils is very, very easy. So as you can see now, I've pretty much covered most the stencil, and mine's going to be variations of blue, but if you want it to be one color, then you're going to go through and use a lot of, well, it depends. If you want it light, you're going to pull it a lot. You can mix it with, dilute it with a bit of water just to thin out the color, or rose spirit, or, but for me I'm just using the gel. So I've left it for about 2 minutes just to slightly firm up a bit, and now I'm just gently releasing the side of the stencil, and that will leave me the imprint on the cake. So as you can see now, that imprint's gone on the cake. So it looks very pretty, nice. It's a nice decoration if you want to really jazz up a cake but really quickly. And now you can continue along and do the sides if you want. So you again attach the stencil, use the vegetable shortening, attach the stencil, and continue on to do the sides of it. But that basically gives you an idea on how to use stencils. If you are new to stencils, before you do the cake, I'd highly recommend that you roll out a piece of fondant and practice on the fondant on the table before you do it on your cake. So as you can see, I've just rolled out a thin piece of fondant, and now I'm doing it on the, I'm using a stencil, and I'm just doing it on that. And do it a few times before you attempt it on the cake. It's just so if you do it straight on the cake and things go wrong, you'll get deflated. Whereas this way, you're practicing before you're doing it, and you know what you've done wrong, and it's a really easy way to learn. So now, as you can see, when I pull off this piece of stencil, you're going to see the mistake that I've made, and it can happen a lot. So it's good to always practice before you do it on the actual cake. So you're going to go through it all, and now I'm going to go through it all. Now I'm going to slightly, when I peel it off, you're going to, and this is going to be more of a lighter blur, as you can see, because I'm really I'm not adding so much color. Now when I pull it through where the R is, obviously I didn't stick it on properly, and if that happens too, you're going to need some water and a cotton bud to get rid of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's a very quick and easy way to use stencils. Hope you guys give me a like, share, thumbs up, and a lot of you ask me what's the point of subscribing. If you subscribe, you get straight away notifications on when my videos release. Like gives me a full indication that you like what I'm doing, so I'm not basically putting up these videos and nobody's enjoying them. So please guys, give me a like, a share, thumbs up, and I hope to see you on my next video. And as you can see, I'm just finishing off doing a Chanel, so it's the same thing, going through again and again, and I'm going to peel it off. So remember, practice before you do them on the cake. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video. See you later. Bye.